What is Trump's final plan? What is his final gamble to open the Strait of Hormuz? Is a ground invasion even a possibility? And if it is Iran ready for it? The situation in the Middle East is only going to get worse, and when all hell finally breaks loose, only one option will remain: a ground invasion of Iran. But Trump isn't that stupid. Maybe he is, but not here. He knows that putting boots on the ground would come at an unimaginable cost. American casualties would surpass those of any previous war in US history. Yet, if we look beneath the surface, an entirely different picture begins to emerge. We can see Donald Trump's final move, and how he believes it could bring this war to an end once and for all. If you look closely at America and Israel, you begin to notice a familiar pattern. Time and time again, they look for others to fight their battles at the lowest possible cost. That pattern can be seen in war and even in business. For 4 decades, they have funded Kurdish and Baloch groups inside Iran, hoping to ignite an uprising. They have invested money, resources, and time into this strategy. And now, according to this perspective, they believe the time has come to put it into action. The Kurds have long been caught in the middle of great power politics. Saddam Hussein used them. Israel and the United States promised them an independent state. Many Kurds believed those promises, and now Trump wants them to march on Tehran. The plan is simple. Kurdish forces advance from the northwest, while Baloch forces move in from the southeast. The result would be a bloodbath inside Iran, where tens of millions of civilians are on the streets supporting their government. Any invading force would have to fight its way through them. And that's the shocking part. If the Kurds and the Baloch are to reach Tehran, they would have to kill millions of Iranians. And once that line is crossed, there is no turning back. What follows could become a full-scale civil war. Iran's army and the IRGC would be forced to spread their forces across multiple fronts. And while they are stretched thin, exposed and vulnerable, the United States could strike them from the air. After crippling Iran's power plants and placing the country under maximum pressure, it would be time for Trump to begin the second phase of the war. Trump wants chaos and carnage inside Iran, but complete stability in the Strait of Hormuz. That's why Iran's southern province of Hormozgan plays such a critical role. If Trump's plan succeeds and Iran descends into civil war, American troops could move into southern Iran with a limited objective: securing control of the Strait of Hormuz. A full-scale invasion of Iran would require at least 1 million troops. But an operation focused only on the country's southern region could, according to this argument, require as few as 50,000. But there is one major problem with Trump's plan. He is an arrogant man, and he refuses to understand Iranians. He sees the world only as he wants it to be, not as it really is. And because of that, he cannot see what comes next. What is the most common military doctrine in the world? In most countries, the military is controlled by a central headquarters. You can think of it as the human brain, the place where the top generals are located and where the most important decisions are made. In the United States, that headquarters is the Pentagon. But Iran follows a very different doctrine. Iran uses what is known as a mosaic strategy. Under this system, each province functions as its own military command, with the ability to make critical decisions independently. What does that mean? It means that even if the capital falls, the senior commanders are killed or communications are cut off, each region can continue fighting on its own. And that changes everything. Even if Trump's plan succeeds, even if Tehran falls, Iran is still far from defeated. But here's the problem. Tehran isn't going to fall. And this is where Trump's miscalculation would be exposed. The strategy he envisions for the Kurds is strikingly similar to the one Saddam Hussein once relied on. And it failed. If Trump had taken the time to study Iran's recent history, he would already know that. But you can't expect that from a man who can barely speak his own native language. But even that isn't the biggest problem. Even if American troops were deployed to southern Iran, they would become sitting ducks for asymmetric warfare. Think back to the Russia-Ukraine war. How many Russian soldiers became victims of FPV drones? Now consider the difference. Ukraine is mostly flat. Iran is mountainous. Imagine American troops stationed along the beaches while only a few kilometers away, Iranian forces remain hidden in the mountains, launching thousands of FPV drones toward their positions. But I don't think we're going to see that in the next few months. The real truce is far darker than that. What is Trump's key to creating mayhem inside Iran? He says it almost every day: the destruction of Iran's infrastructure. Power plants, oil facilities, water desalination plants, bridges, factories, anything a modern nation depends on to survive. Trump has said he will send Iran back to the Stone Age. But here's the problem. Iran wouldn't be the only country sent back to the Stone Age. The entire Persian Gulf could be dragged there with it. And that leads to the most important question of all: who can survive it? Iran almost certainly can. Its civilization stretches back more than 12,000 years, and throughout its history it has endured hardships far greater than this. But if Iran were to completely destroy the power plants and water desalination facilities of the GCC countries, the consequences would be devastating. The UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. But here's the real question: will Trump care about those countries as their security guarantor? He put them in this position. And if those countries are destroyed, what happens to Europe? Europe has already found itself in conflict with Russia because of the Russia-Ukraine war, largely as a consequence of America's policies. What happens if it now witnesses the destruction of the GCC states? Unlike Trump, Europeans aren't dumb. They are highly pragmatic, and they won't allow everything they have built to be destroyed because of yet another war. So I believe they would seek peace with Russia. And a new world order could emerge, one in which the entire world stands against America and Israel. And that's it. But we still have to see whether Trump is willing to go after Iran's infrastructure. Until now, Iran has shown considerable patience, but one wrong move could set the world on fire. Iran possesses more missiles and drones than the entire NATO alliance. It is a fortress surrounded by mountains. It has direct access to Russia through the Caspian Sea, and in the event of an invasion, it has more than 30 million people available. Trump has no cards against Iran. Iran has the advantage. But do you know who has the advantage too? You. Yes, you have the power to encourage creators to make more videos like this by simply giving this video a like. Thank you all for your support. This is East Wind Brigade, where our voices unite and we rise together.